28 years of experience, and suddenly I was obsolete. I spent almost 3 decades solving problems, managing people and leading teams, and handling pressure. And then the job market looked at my resume and said, very impressive, but no thanks.
And that is where our story really started to change because for years the plan was simple: work hard, build experience, be reliable, stay useful. Eventually things work out. That's what we were told. That's what our parents did, right?
I had 28 years in operations and leadership. I've managed large teams. I've dealt with problems most people would hide from. I knew how to keep things moving when things got messy. In the real world, that should count for something. But in the job search world, apparently it counts as this guy is going to be expensive. In my opinion, you get what you pay for.
And here's the part that people don't always understand, unless they've lived it. When someone with decades of experience can't get hired, it's not just frustrating, it's humiliating, it's stressful. It messes with your confidence because after a while you start thinking, wait, did all those years mean nothing?
Exactly. I applied for jobs I was qualified for, then jobs I was overqualified for, then jobs where I thought, okay, this one should be obvious. But nothing. There was no calls, no real answer, no explanation, just silence. And let me tell you, employer silence has a personality: cold, distant, emotionally unavailable. Basically, the job market is not run by real people anymore. The days where you would walk in with a resume are long gone.
And while that was happening, life kept being life. Bills did not say, oh, Laszlo is looking for work, let's give him a break. Nope. Bills arrived right on time, the savings started going down, the stress started going up, and retirement started looking like it would never happen.
That was the hardest part because it's one thing not to get hired when you're just starting out, but after 28 years, that hits differently. You're sitting there with experience, skills, leadership, work ethics, and somehow you still feel as if you're begging the system to notice you. That's not a great feeling. You and I both know our worth.
At some point, we had to stop asking only one question. The question was no longer just, who will hire Laszlo? The question became, what can we build so we're not depending on someone else to say yes? Because waiting was getting expensive emotionally and financially.
And honestly, I got tired. Tired of applying, tired of refreshing emails, tired of pretending another rejection didn't matter. Tired of feeling as if my experience had an expiry date. I started thinking, maybe I'm not obsolete. Maybe the old system just doesn't know what to do with people who have actual life experience, also known as people who have survived meetings, mortgages, and teenagers. That should qualify us for something.
That was a light bulb moment. Maybe we weren't done. Maybe we weren't behind. Maybe we didn't need to become younger, cheaper, quieter versions of ourselves. Maybe we needed a different path, a path where experience was not a problem, a path where we could learn something new without starting life over completely.
And that's when digital marketing started to make sense. At first, we were skeptical because let's be honest, the internet can be intimidating.
It sure can.
One minute you're learning about online income, and the next minute, the internet says you could become a millionaire overnight. No thanks. I'm just trying to pay bills and keep my blood pressure normal.
That's right. But then we found legacy builders. And what got our attention was that it was not built for people who already knew everything. It was simple, step by step, beginner friendly. And it showed regular people how to build digital income without needing to become tech experts. That mattered to us because we were not looking for another complicated thing to fail at. We needed something that made sense.
And for me, the biggest shift was this: I didn't have to wait for someone to decide whether I was still valuable. I could learn a new skill, I could build something, I could use the discipline, problem solving, and leadership I already had, but in a new way. Turns out 28 years experience doesn't disappear. It just needed a better place to land.
And that gave us something we had been missing: options. Not a magic wand, not overnight success, not a suitcase full of cash falling from the ceiling, although honestly, we would not complain. But options. And when you are in that middle place, too experienced to get hired, but not ready to retire, in simple words, you need options.
Because when the old system stops choosing you, you have two choices: keep waiting or start building. We chose building. Not perfectly, not without questions, not without looking at each other a few times and saying, are we really doing this? But yes, we're doing it.
So, if you have ever felt this, if you have ever wondered why decades of experience suddenly feel invisible, if you are tired of waiting for someone to call, approve, hire, respond, or validate your worth, we want you to hear this. You are not obsolete, you are not expired, and you are not done.
You may just need a new system, one that doesn't treat your age as a problem. one that doesn't require permission from a boss, one where regular people can learn, adapt, and build something for themselves like we have.
That's why we're sharing what we found because we know there are a lot of people our age quietly thinking, what now? And we want you to know there's another option.
Start with the free blueprint. Just take a look, see how digital marketing works, see why it got our attention after everything else wasn't working. There's no pressure, no hype, just information we wish we had sooner.
Click the link, grab the blueprint, and see what we found because all your years of experience does not make you obsolete.
It means you've got skills. You can start your own digital marketing business and put your skills to good use.